Hello, I had the pleasure of reading The Metabolic Effect Diet by Keone and Jay Tetna. They're two brothers that wrote and created the Metabolic Effect program. The two brothers received their undergraduate degree in biochemistry. They're both certified personal trainers and then as well as naturopathic doctors. And Keone also went on to become a licensed acupuncturist. The Metabolic Effect program, I believe, was created through professional and personal experience. For professional experience, they're being a naturopathic doctor and then also working in a gym, they saw a lot of clients that would come in struggling with weight loss. You know, the typical diet and exercise programs just weren't working for people, or they weren't having results that lasted. And then for personal experience, the Tetna brothers they share the same genetic makeup. They grew up eating the same types of foods. They were both physically active growing up as well, but they had different body types. So one brother struggled with weight loss and controlling cravings for sugar and stimulants, while the other brother, he struggled with gaining muscle and then controlling an overactive metabolism. So you can see here that there's not a one-size-fits-all approach. We all have different body types. So the metabolic effect diet the idea is to ignite the fat-burning potential. So according to the book, there's different types of burners. So you're a muscle burner, a sugar burner, or a mixed burner. And to determine what kind of burner you are, they have a questionnaire in the book that you can answer to determine your burning type. So once you determine what your burning type is, the book includes a dietary program for you as well as an exercise program and then some lifestyle considerations as well. So the dietary aspect of the metabolic effect diet is basically a high protein, high fiber, and then a low carbohydrate diet. There's not a whole lot of restrictions in the diet. They try to make it easy. They know that people don't have a whole lot of time for prepping or, there's just not a whole lot of restrictions. So basically you can eat protein. They encourage you to eat protein shakes and protein bars just as an easy snack to go to. Vegetables are fine. The fruits that you can consume, there's a list that are allowed for all types of burners, and then it's also broken up into what fruits you can eat for your specific burning type. For starchy carbohydrates, they have a rule of how many bites you can have, so it's not measured by grams or calories, so they're measuring it by bites. So anywhere from 3 to 15 bites per meal of a starchy carbohydrate, depending on what type of burner you are. And they encourage, whole grains over like white processed refined like bread. So if you're someone that has to have their white bread, it's still allowed on their diet. So if you're the type of burner that can only have 3 to 5 bites of starchy carbohydrates per meal, and then you choose to have white bread for that meal, then they recommend that you have the lower end, so you only have 3 bites instead of the 5 bites that you're allowed. But you're still allowed to eat it on the diet. They also say that they want you to eat every 2 to 4 hours to keep the hormonal balance. So no skipping meals, no going too long, so that you start to get hungry and then just turn to easy options instead of following the metabolic effect diet. Also, another rule is no eating 2 hours before bedtime. So their idea is, bedtime is a time for your body to reset and relax. And if you eat too close to bedtime, then your body's going to be spent digesting the food instead of resetting and relaxing and rebuilding. So another portion of the metabolic effect diet is they actually allow you to have a reward meal once a week, or actually 1 to 3 times a week, depending on what type of burner you are and what phase you're in. So the reward meal, you're welcome to eat whatever you want. So as many carbohydrates as you want, as many calories as you want. That is your one time to eat whatever you want. And the rest of the week, you're eating, your certain bites of carbohydrates. So along with the meal plan, they also have a dietary or exercise routine. So what they saw is that high intensity workouts ignite that fat burning potential. So a good example that they use in the book is a elite sprinter versus a marathon runner. So those two, are pretty intense workouts, but they have athletes that have pretty different body types. So if you were to look at an elite sprinter, their body type is very muscular. They're thin but very muscular, whereas the marathon runner, they also have a very thin frame usually, but you don't see as much muscle tone as you would with a sprinter, or a sprinter. And that's because for long aerobic exercises, your body is actually burning sugar. And in the process of burning sugar, your body can actually use muscle, which breaks down into sugar. So when you're doing those prolonged aerobic exercises, maybe, the people that are on elliptical trainer for hours, or, that are only doing aerobics, they're going to be burning muscle. So that's why you see a lot of thinner people, but they have no muscle tone. Whereas if you're doing those quick, high-intensity workouts, you're igniting that fat-burning potential, and you're not burning your muscle. So that's the idea behind the Metabolic Effect exercise program, is a more high-intensity workout. So the workout's only 20 minutes long. They include the workouts in the book. So that's really nice, too, because it's teaching the people, what workouts to do. So the workouts include exercises that work multiple muscles. So if you're doing a squat, maybe it's also a bicep curl. So you have 4 different categories of workouts in the book, and you choose one exercise from each category. And so they suggest that you do the exercise 3 times a week. So it's 3 times a week for 20 minutes. And what you do, depending on what phase you're in, if you're in the metabolic spark phase or the transformation phase, you either do 12 to 8 sets for each exercise. So if you're in the metabolic spark phase, then you're doing 12 of each exercise. So you do 12 reps of the first exercise, go to the second one, third, and fourth, and you do that in a circle until the 20 minutes is up. The idea is you're doing such a high intensity workout that you're going to need to rest. So they encourage you to rest whenever you need to rest, and then start up again. So for someone that's new to exercise, they may have to rest maybe every couple minutes, whereas someone that is more in shape, maybe you're only resting a couple times during that 20 minutes. But combining that dietary, the high protein, high fiber, low carbohydrates, and eating every 2 to 4 hours, that along with a high intensity workout, they're saying that you're going to ignite the fat burning potential. So how do you know that you're in that fat burning potential? So according to the authors, you should feel it. So you should feel that your cravings have gone away. You should feel that you have more energy, that you're in a more elevated mood, but you should also notice more tone in your body too. So during that high intensity workout, you're working different muscles, so you should be gaining more muscle tone and not burning muscle during that exercise. The authors also talk about just different lifestyle considerations during the program. So they speak about, getting enough water, sleep is really important, and then also to distress. But, I thought this book was a good book for people that, don't have a whole lot of time. I think it's an easy program to implement, not a whole lot of prep work. The dietary program is pretty easy to follow. I think you'll need the book to remember, what fruits maybe for your burning type you're allowed. But for the most part, it's a program that people can take and run off with. It's not a whole lot of studying to do, a whole lot of time consumed. It's 20-minute workout a day for 3 days a week, and then an easy dietary program to follow. You're not starving your body during the program. You're encouraged to eat every 2 to 4 hours, and there's not like portion control, so you can eat until you're full. So I think that the program is good. The only thing I didn't like about the program is it does promote low-fat dairy, and then they encourage you to eat only the whites of the eggs, and I believe in eating the yolks, and I don't like low-fat dairy. But besides that, I think the program is something that I would recommend for a lot of people, and I actually have. My mother and my sister-in-law both have purchased the book, and they've started that on their own. So I think it's something easy to do for people that don't have a whole lot of time. Yeah, thank you.